Hello everyone, welcome to section 6.2, which we're dealing with factoring trinomials. I know you guys are so excited about this, super excited. First of all, don't forget what a trinomial is. Put simply, it is a polynomial that consists of three terms, or actually it could maybe possibly not be a polynomial. But the point is, trinomial, translated directly means three terms, three monomials, yeah? Okay, so this is the chapter about factoring. So we're going to focus on trinomials of the form ax squared plus bx plus c, aka quadratics, aka second degree polynomials, aka trinomials. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to get into is factors. We're going to factor the ones where in the case that a is equal to 1, which is the easiest case. And I'll show you what I mean. So basically, I developed this little, it's not exactly a chart. It's more like a little stick figure thing. When you have a trinomial that is in this form where the first coefficient, the leading coefficient is 1, you can take the last term and factor it into two factors that when combined, added together, equal the middle term. And that's going to give you your factors. Okay, so let me show you what I mean by that. So here we have ABC. Let's look at this example here. This is 1x squared, but we don't really say the 1, but we know it's there. B is 11, C is 24. So what we need to ask ourselves is, what are the factors of 24 that when I combine them, it equals 11? So if you said 3 and 8, you're correct, because 3 times 8 is 24 and 3 plus 8 is 11. So now from here, it's really easy to factor. This factors into x plus 3, x plus 8, and that's it. I know you're probably in awe of how easy that was. So let me do another example. So let's say here we have positive 28. And again, signs matter, so be careful and watch out for them. So what are the and then don't forget that factors can include negative numbers sometimes. Okay. What are the factors of 28 that when I add them together, I get negative 11? So make sure that you're very what's the word? Clear, concise, accurate. Math should always be making sense. If it doesn't make sense to you, don't be afraid to ask why, and fight for the answer, because you will gain so much knowledge by doing that. Okay, so the factors of 28. Factors of 28, we know are 2 and 14, 1 and 28, 4 and 7. But wait a minute, the combination needs to add up to a negative 11. So what that tells you, since the product is positive, that both of these are negative. Okay, so again, if the middle term is negative and the last term is positive, that means that your special numbers or your factors are going to both be negative. So because negative 4 times negative 11, times negative 7, I don't know why I wrote 11, times negative 7 is equal to 28, positive. And when I combine them, I get negative 11, so it works out. So my factors are y minus 4 and y minus 7, okay? So not too bad. Pretty simple. So that's how you factor only in the case when a is equal to 1, okay? So it's not going to work if you have a number in front of the coefficient, of the leading coefficient. For example, 2x squared plus 7x plus 5, we cannot use this method. We can't go, 5 add up to 7. We can't do that because this is a 2 right here, okay? So what can we do if we have a number in front of the leading, if we have a non-1 number as our leading coefficient, and we have this, it's similar, but it's a little different. It's called the AC method, okay? That's what I'm introducing here. So what you do is, first of all, you factor any greatest common factor that you can. Okay, so you do that if there is one, and then after that, you take A and C, you multiply them, you find two factors of that add up to the middle term, and then from there you rewrite the whole thing and factor by grouping. So let me go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. So here we have 6x squared plus 7x plus 2. So A, B, C, right? A is 6, B is 7, C is 2. So what is AC? So AC is the product 6 times 2, which is equal to 12. So we want to factor this now such that we want to find the factors of 12 that add up to positive 7. So you get 3 and 4. And so the next step, so this is the first step, is figuring out AC. 2 is figuring out the numbers. The next step is different. We're going to rewrite the trinomial as a 4-term polynomial. And you'll see why. So we get 6x squared. So instead of 7x, this is where these two numbers come into play. I'm going to rewrite 7x as positive 3x plus 4x. Okay? This is because it doesn't lose the meaning, right? 3x plus 4x is still 7x. And then I'm going to bring down this plus 2. And the reason that we do this is because we're going to factor by grouping, right? So, so then I'm going to take the first two terms, and we know what factoring by grouping is, but still let's do it anyway. So the first two terms has a GCF of 3x. If I factor that out, what's left inside the parentheses, I get 2x plus 1, right? That's because I took 3x out of this term and this term. The second, I'm going to bring down this sign here. The second two terms, the next grouping, has a common factor of 2 only. And that leaves me with 2x plus 1. Okay. And then you can see, oh, aha, look at that. I have a common factor of 2x plus 1. So I bring that in front. And then what's left over? We have this 3x plus 2. Okay, so that is it, my friends. Okay, let's do another one for funsies, because we know we have fun doing math. What is it? First of all, here you can notice something, right? There's a GCF that divides into all three of these terms. Can you tell me what it is? Even if I can't hear you? Okay, if you said 5, then you're right. So 5, I can factor out of 5. That leaves me with 2y squared minus 11y plus, and then 5 goes into 70 14 times. Okay, so now what? So now we do AC method, but we're just going to use this and this as our AC. So another way to think of it is you're just factoring what's inside the parentheses. So kind of like, don't worry about 5. 5 is going to be part of it, but it's on the outside, okay? So your final answer is going to look something like this. So let's go ahead and do AC method. So AC method is 2 times 14, which is 28. What are the factors of 28 that add up to negative 11? Oh, look, we just did that earlier. Negative 11y, so negative 4 and negative 7. But remember, we're not going to jump straight to this step. We have to do an intermediate step. We have to factor by grouping, right? We have to factor by grouping. And again, why don't we just write it in the parentheses like the other one? That's because this number here is not 1. So we can't do that. So let's go ahead. 2y squared. So all we're doing is replacing that negative 11y in the middle with negative 4y minus 7y, okay? Plus 14. Okay, so now we can factor by grouping. Out of these first two, common factor is 2y, leaving me with y minus 2. Bring down the term here, negative, so factor out a 7. So factoring out a negative 7 from these two terms leaves me with y minus 2, okay? Make sure you understand, you watch your signs, okay? Because if you write a negative outside here, you need to count that when you divide a positive by a negative, your result is also negative, okay? So if you get confused, like I'm not sure if I factored this correctly, well, go ahead and use distribution property and see if you end up with what you started with, okay? All right, so now that we have y minus 2 in common, we get y minus 2 times the quantity 2y minus 7. Okay, so that's it for here. So this goes y minus 2, 2y minus 7. Because don't forget we have that 5 from the beginning that we canceled out. We need to include that GCF. Okay. Let's try one more. Here we have 16x squared minus 32x plus 12. There's a GCF here of 4. 4, 8, 6, 4. Yes. So if I factor out a 4, what do I get? I get 4x squared minus 8x plus 3. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So AC, that's going to be 3 times 4, which is 12. What are the factors of 12 that when combined give me a negative 8? Okay, so I'm looking at factors of 12, 1 and 12, 2 and 6, and that's it right there. Negative 2, negative 6. Remember, it has to add up to negative 8. Okay, so then I'll go ahead and write here. So leaving the 4 on the outside. 4x squared minus 2x minus 6x plus 3. Okay, so from the first 2, I can factor out a 2x. So 4, I'm just going to leave the 4 on the outside like that with a square bracket so I know I'm still working here. So this is 2x. Factor that out. That gives me 2x minus 1. If I take out a negative 3, well, I mean, I just bring that minus sign down here and then take out a 3. If you factor out a 3, that leaves you with 2x minus 1, okay, because this is a positive. So now we have the common term 2x minus 1. So finally, we can write this as 2x minus 1. And then inside the parentheses, what's left is 2x minus 3. And that's it. Okay. Let's see. Is there anything else I want to tell you? Okay. One other thing I want to talk about is factoring by substitution. You can factor by substitution when you see that there's a pattern here in the exponent. So notice this is not a square term. This is a 4th power. But the ratio from the first term to the second term when we're talking about exponents is 2 to 1. So technically, we could use it as a quadratic, and let me show you how. Okay, so if I let u, that's what substitution is. U is equal to x squared. That means that u squared is equal to x to the power 4. So what does that mean to let something? We're introducing a variable. We're substituting it. Why are we even doing this? It's so that you can see that it's a quadratic that can be factored anyway. So if I do that, if I substitute that, I'm going to get u squared minus 4u minus 5. Okay, so what did I do again? So just to recap, what did we do? Just really quick, okay? So I said u is going to equal x squared. Okay, fine. So if I decided that, this x squared is going to become u. Not you as a person, you the letter, haha. Okay, then if u is equal to x squared, I squared both sides. U squared is equal to x to the power 4. So that means this x to the power 4 is going to become u squared. Okay, so that's what substitution is here. So now that I substituted, you should look at this as a new problem. Just look at here, 4u squared minus 4u minus 5. So if you do that, that's not bad. We can do the regular, a is equal to 1 method. So negative 5, what are the factors of negative 5 that when combined together give me negative 4? If you said negative 5 and a positive 1, you're correct. So this factors into u minus 5, u plus 1, okay? This is like simplified AC method. Okay, so now, but remember, what was u initially? U was x squared. So the final piece of the puzzle would be to substitute back. So substitute back in. Okay, so what does that mean? Instead of u, I'm going to write x squared minus 5, x squared plus 1, and that's it. Okay, so that's my final answer. Now, some of you, not you, the letter U, so you, the people you, are probably thinking, hey, well, did I even need to use that substitution? Could I just directly factor it, and instead of writing x, I would write x squared? Sure. If you can do this without substituting, by all means, go for it. Have fun, enjoy that. But for the rest of us, we do need to go through this step, just because it makes it easier to see, you know. Okay, so let's do another one. Now, in this case, we don't have to substitute x squared for u. What do we need to substitute? What is being squared plus 7 times something plus 12? So what I'm going to let the u equal is x minus 2 this time. So that's going to make it this equation, u squared plus 7u plus 12. See how much easier this is to factor? Now, the other way, it just looks crazy and confusing, but it's not. You know, it's really not. Okay. So what are the factors of 12? Oh, what are the factors of 12 that when I add it together, I get 7? If you said 3 and 4, yes. So this here factors into u plus 3, u plus 4. Okay, fine. But then remember, what is u? U is equal to x minus 2. So we're going to go ahead and plug that back in. So here, this is going to be x minus 2 plus 3, end parenthesis, x minus 2 plus 4. So now we can go ahead and simplify this by combining like terms. So final answer is x plus 1, x plus 2, and we are done. Okay. Now, question, because I know I can't answer your questions like in real time, but I can try to guess your questions. Is there another way to solve this problem? And the answer is yes, but it's a bit more convoluted. Could you have squared this x minus 2 out, distributed the 7, combined like terms, simplified it, and then factored? Yes, but it would take you a lot longer, okay? So that's why I stick with this. It's easier. Okay, and that's it for the section. Here is your homework, your super fun homework. Good luck, happy studying, and I will see you in the next video.